Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So when I tell you that this season is F around and find out season, I mean just that. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about a topic that's been all over the news and social media, the so-called Trump tariffs and their impact on the cost of living. Now, I know what you're thinking, tariffs, yeah? Tariffs? That sounds complicated, boring, or maybe even unnecessary. But trust me, this is something that could affect every one of us. Okay, so stick around because we are going to break it down in the simplest possible way. And here's the deal. These tariffs might sound cute and even patriotic, protecting our industries, bringing back jobs, you know the pitch. But the reality, there's a downside, and it's one that hits us where it hurts. Our wallets. Let me tell you this, people aren't taking this lightly. Folks everywhere already stocking up, bracing for what's expected to be a serious spike in the cost of living. It's like a Black Friday prep, but instead of deals, people are preparing for price hikes. But don't just take my word for it. To clarify exactly how these tariffs work and what they mean for your everyday life, I've collected some clips for you guys and insights that explain the ripple effect in action for the supply chain to your grocery cart. So make sure you stick around and watch this video up to the end. I'll leave my own 2 cents at the end of this video. Watch this.
I'm voting for the man that's going to take America back, baby. Donald J. Trump, man.
What's one of your biggest issues?
Probably going to be inflation, because I sell t-shirts and all that stuff.
Your t-shirts are made in the USA?
No, my blanks, no. See, that's the thing Trump's talking about. If we tax them, hit tariffs, the same item they're making over there will cost the same to make over here.
We pay the tariffs.
Well, the companies pay the tariffs, not us.
China doesn't pay the tariffs. We do when they come in.
What did Jesus do for you?
No, it doesn't work like that.
Like if I'm buying 1,000 shirts from China and there's a tariff on it, I'm paying the tariff.
Well, no, whoever's getting it imported in is going to pay the tariffs.
Yeah. I'm the business owner. I'm paying the tariff. China doesn't pay it. I pay for it.
Well,
Like if I'm the business owner and I buy 1,000 shirts,
I see what you're saying.
China's not Jolly. So I'm trying to
So who
explain.
pays the tariff?
They're paying the tariff.
Do you think that? Do you believe that?
Because I was trying to say, because I sell merch as well.
I sell you something for $10, right? You're going to sell it to him for $20.
Exactly.
But then I make you pay me $15 for it. Are you still going to sell it to him for $20?
Am I going to sell it to him for 20?
If I raise the price $5?
Oh, it's going to have to go up.
Right. So
Yeah, the consumer foots the bill.
While y'all are stocking up on canned goods and how to store rice and paper towels and buying your appliances and everything else because of the impending tariffs that's going to be coming along, you know that Trump is going to be deporting your favorite drug dealer too, so you may want to stock up on some other things.
My For You page the last few days has been like 30% of people explaining the Trump tariffs and how terrible they'll be, 30% of people finding out about what tariffs are, and then the other 30% brands and influencers telling you that you should stock up on things before the Trump tariffs hit next year. And if you've been getting a lot of the content in the last category, I just have a very gentle message for you, which is take a deep breath. It's true that if Trump's proposed tariffs actually do take effect, that consumer goods would get more expensive. He's proposed a 60% tariff on everything coming from China, which is a lot of stuff, and 10%, I believe, on everything else. But I've been seeing a lot of influencers and business owners and brands actually say now is the time to stock up on anything you think you might need in the next 4 years, which I think we can all agree is just not feasible. I can't buy 4 years of pasta in a month. I'm not going to buy 4 years of makeup because that will expire eventually. And there's no way for me to predict all the things that I will need in the next 4 years in time for Black Friday sales or whatever. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by this push to just buy a ton of stuff before Trump's inauguration, here's my advice. We still don't know exactly what tariffs will look like under Trump. He promises a lot of things. This has always been the case. He says a lot of things. He promises a lot of things. A lot of the stuff never happens. I'm not here to make predictions. I'm not saying the tariffs won't happen, but just being the reminder that you might need that, like, we don't know exactly what will happen quite yet. Second, while it's true that a lot of stuff is made in China and other countries, some stuff is still made in the United States. So, for example, paper products. I think like 98 or 99% of toilet paper is produced in the US. So don't go buy 4 years worth of toilet paper. I also just think people should be mindful of who is telling them to stock up on things. So like, for me personally, I am not going to listen to you if you have something to sell me and you're telling me that I should buy a ton of stuff to prepare for the next 4 years. I can absolutely see why that's appealing and working to people, but just be mindful of who is telling you to stock up on stuff that you maybe don't even need. Another thing a lot of people might not know is that sometimes companies can apply for tariff exemptions. For example, I'm looking at a story right now from the New York Times in 2020 when the Trump administration removed tariffs on the Apple Watch after the company requested it. This kind of goes to my first point of like, we don't exactly know what will happen and what will go up in price and how much it'll go up. I'm confident that some of the terrible things that the Trump campaign has proposed will indeed happen in the next 4 years and beyond. But please don't go into debt buying 1 million sweaters or a bunch of makeup and lipstick and skincare or 5 computers or whatever, because the truth is we just don't quite know yet.
Are rising grocery prices stretching your budget the way that they're stretching mine? Yeah, I know. As we head into 2025, food costs are expected to climb even higher, which it just hurts. It hurts everything. And they're saying it's due to inflation. They're saying it's due to supply chain issues, unpredictable market changes. You know, they'll keep throwing different things at us all the time. But don't worry, really. We're going to take this one worry away from you because there are actionable steps that you can take today to combat these increases, to stock your pantry strategically. That's the important part. It's going to be a strategic attack, okay? And to ensure that your family has enough to eat without breaking the bank. And that's what it's all about. Let's dive in to how you can prepare your pantry for the year ahead and stay ahead of the rising costs. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sutton's Days. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and we are all about pantry preparedness.
Are you thinking about stocking up before Trump's tariffs drive up the price? Here are some everyday items that might be in danger of higher prices. So if you've noticed the price of things going up lately, you might want to brace yourself for even higher costs. President-elect Donald Trump has proposed a new set of tariffs that could affect everything from electronics to food. But what exactly are tariffs, and how will they impact your wallet? Let's break it down. Simply put, a tariff is a tax on imported goods. When goods come into the United States from another country, the government charges a tariff to make them more expensive. This is meant to encourage people to buy goods made in the United States instead, which does help local businesses but can make imported items cost more for consumers. Trump has proposed a broad tariff plan that includes a 10 to 20% tariff on all imported goods from other countries, a 60% to 100% tariff on goods imported from China. These tariffs are part of his strategy to reduce the U.S. trade deficit and encourage companies to bring more production back to the United States. The tariffs would impact a wide variety of products, including many everyday items that you might use. Here is a breakdown by category to help you better understand. Electronics, such as gaming laptops, prices could increase by up to 45%. If you're thinking of buying one soon, it could go from $1,000 to $1,450. Gaming consoles, expect a 40% price increase as many of the consoles are made in China. Monitors, prices could rise by about 31%. Clothing and textiles are included too. Clothes and shoes. Many clothing brands import from overseas, and these tariffs could cause prices to go up by 10% to 25%. Jeans, t-shirts, and sneakers, popular items in everyday clothing, could get more expensive. Household goods like furniture that is imported could see a price hike of up to 20%. Appliances, so items like refrigerators, washing machines, and microwaves may also rise in price due to higher tariffs on metals and electronic components. Food and beverages imported. If you're a fan of exotic fruits or snacks from abroad, be prepared for price increases due to tariffs on imports, especially if the goods are coming from China. So canned foods and beverages are included as well. Imported beverages and canned food might also cost more. Depending on the item, consumers can see prices increase anywhere from 10% to 45%. For electronics like gaming laptops and consoles, this means a jump in price by hundreds of dollars. For everyday goods like clothing and household items, expect a smaller increase, but still noticeable. At first, first glance, tariffs may seem like a way to bring more money into the United States, but they also have a downside. With higher tariffs, consumers will face higher prices on many products. For the average family, this could mean paying more for things that they need and want, whether it's a new laptop, some fresh fruit, or even a new pair of shoes. The extra cost could add up quickly, making it harder for working class families to budget and save. And here's where the irony comes in, right? Many people voted for President-elect Trump in the hopes of lowering prices on everyday items. But with these proposed tariffs, those same voters might soon find themselves paying way more for the very products that they rely on. The promise of lower costs might seem to be backfiring, as the tariffs could have the opposite effect and leave many consumers with higher bills. So now that you know what could go up in price.
Oh yeah, if this tariff goes through, yes, everything will become more expensive, but then you're also not going to have like 90% of the products that you have today. So I don't think people realize just how incredibly fucked up the whole tariff thing will be if it goes into place. Like, and again, like, I'm a small business owner and I have my products manufactured in China. It is not because I want to have them manufactured in China. It is because there's literally no manufacturer that can make my products here in the United States. And there won't be for a long time. Like, Trump has proposed the 60% tariff on all goods imported from China. First of all, that's like everything that's on Amazon. Everything. And basically everything at like Target, Walmart, like everywhere. Okay. But it's not, what is missing from this conversation is that manufacturers will just choose to not make things. Okay. So, and I mean, believe me, I am all about like lowering consumerism, but a lot of those things are going to be durable goods that like you need and would normally have. And now instead of having like 10 choices, you're going to have like one choice. So for example, like a lot of people are saying, oh, okay, well, they're just going to, you know, it's a 60% tariff that the importer, which would be the person like me selling it, I would just increase my prices by 60%. So like, first of all, I wouldn't do that, right? I mean, that would be like a $60 sippy, no, it's not a $60 sippy cup, but like it's expensive and not fair for my customers, right? What many manufacturers are going to choose to do, they're just going to choose to not make it. Trump's whole thing is that, you know, he wants to punish China, but he also wants to really push American manufacturing. Amazing. I love that. But I can tell you, America doesn't have like manufacturing like up and ready to go. It doesn't, right? Maybe it did in like the 70s, but starting out in the 80s and up until today, there has been a significant decline. Sure, there are certain industries where they're still manufacturing things, but it is not like it is in China, where they literally have huge industrial cities, right? Where their entire, like, that is their entire like economy. And they've been building that for decades, right? Where you can go and say, I want to build the sippy cup from start to finish, and they will get every single piece made for you to your specification and have it shipped to you and everything, right? And so, for example, I have been looking for years, even before I started even making my sippy cups, to be made here in the United States. And I can tell you, so my sippy cups are made out of borosilicate glass, which is similar to Pyrex. It's much more heat resistant. There is not one borosilicate glass drinkware manufacturer. The only borosilicate glass that is made in the United States is for like traffic lights and like laboratory equipment. Yeah. And I've been checking a lot, all the time. Now, I can try and make something out of tempered glass, but for my purposes, it's not going to be as good, durable, like not as good for the end product. And check this out. My cups are covered in like a silicone sleeve, right? And it has a little silicone straw on the top, right? So if I were to find a manufacturer for my borosilicate glasses, right, I would still need to find a different manufacturer for that outer silicone sleeve and the inner straw, right? Like, this is an example, like this is not my cup, but like this is an example. So like you would have to find a different manufacturer in the United States for every single component. They wouldn't be able to put that all together for you. Yeah. And that would be extremely expensive. It would be like a $200 sippy cup if it were made here in the United States, in regards to like where we are now with our manufacturing capability. And so imagine like imagine like Target, for example, that has like tons of different collections, like Hearth and Home and like what is a Good and Gather, like they have like the different collections. They're just going to not make tons of assortment. They're just going to make like one from like every single, maybe not even one. They're just going to stop selling shit. And believe me, I believe that companies sell too much shit, but some of that stuff you actually need, right? And you will be forced to buy shit that is subpar. You will be forced to buy shit that you don't really want, but maybe you just need a stapler instead of having like 10 different variations with different specific needs, and qualities from them. You will have one, and that one is going to be really expensive. Yeah, so it's not going to necessarily drive American manufacturing. And if manufacturers ever want to get to where China is in regards to their, their capabilities, it's going to take like 20 years. It takes a lot of money, a lot of investment. So, and again, I could build my own factory here in the United States, but I need like $10 million of like VC, money. And I don't want that. I don't want to get outside investors, VC funding, and then completely water down my product. I just think a lot of people aren't considering what this is actually going to look like, which is fucking nuts.
If the price of food doesn't kill you, the empty shelves might. How to preserve the backup food you just bought, or that's been sitting in the back of your closet since 2020. Mylar bags. Don't let this shit intimidate you. Oxygen absorbers. These are nice because they're individually packaged. Dry food goes in, oxygen absorber goes in, seal the deal. And your oats McGroats will go from lasting you 3 to 5 years to 25 to 30 years. Potato flakes, beans, flour, rice, quinoa, oats. Get wild. Mark what it is. Your future self thanks you. Hello? We're gonna seal this part. This is an impulse heat sealer. You can also use a hair straightener or an iron. Apply a bit of pressure for a few seconds, an extra 2 or 3 seconds. Out she comes. Sealed as can be. You can wash and reuse these bags. Don't put your hair in one of these. Welcome to Prepperhood. If you're feeling frisky, load these into a bucket, seal her up, and store it in a cool place to keep it from critters. Now you're ready for the alien invasion.
All right, folks, so we've covered a lot in this video, so let me just wrap this up with some final thoughts, okay? First, I'll start by saying, yes, the news is true and it's confirmed. Prices will rise as soon as these tariffs are fully implemented. That's just the reality of how tariffs work. But it's talking up really the solution. Maybe in the short term, like a few weeks, months, it might help, of course, yeah. But I've got to ask this question, are people really stocking up on the right things? I've seen videos of people buying up canned foods and dry staples like rice and beans, which makes sense, of course. But then I come across this one clip of someone stockpiling video game equipments. I mean, really, in times of economic strain, it's really important, it's essential to focus on needs than wants. So if you're planning to stock up, make sure you prioritize essentials, things like food and basic supplies that will sustain you and your family through uncertain times, okay? My guess is that low-income households will feel the bent of these price hikes the most. And I don't even want to think about how this might affect homeless communities. The ripple effect could be devastating. It's really, really sad. I'm sure maybe the Trump, whatever, will come up with something for the homeless and the less privileged, my guess anyway. And while stocking up may sound like a smart idea, it's not without its drawbacks. So here are a few disadvantages to consider when you're planning to stock up. Okay, so the first one and my main concern is storage issues, because most homes aren't equipped to store large quantities of food properly. Poor storage conditions can lead to spoilage, pests, and waste. And number two, I can say expiration risks. While canned and dry goods last a long time, they don't really last forever. So buying in bulk only to let food expire is a costly mistake. Three is upfront cost. Stocking up requires significant money upfront, which many people, especially those already struggling financially, simply don't have. Hoarding problems. Overpurchasing can contribute to shortages, leaving others in your community without access to essential items. False security. So stocking up may give you a false sense of preparedness, okay, but it doesn't solve the underlying problem of rising costs and systemic issues. That said, there are some undeniable benefits to stocking up, and especially if you do it strategically. Okay, so here are just some of the advantages of stocking up in expectation of a rising cost. So number one is, you save money. Buying items now before prices rise can save you a lot in the long run. Don't think of it as an investment in future stability. And my number two is preparedness for emergencies. So stocking up ensures you are ready for unforeseen disruptions, whether they are caused by tariffs, supply chain issues, or natural disasters. And number three, of course, this will give you a peace of mind. Having a well-stocked pantry can reduce stress, knowing that your household's basic needs are covered. And number four, of course, fewer trips to the store. With more supplies at home, you save time and money on transportation and avoid panic buying during price surges. Yeah. And number five, ability to help others. So if you plan wisely, your stockpile could help not just your family, but also neighbors or friends in need during tough times. So there you have it, the pros and the cons of stocking up as we prepare for what's being called the Trump tariffs. And before I go, I want to mention something fascinating I came across recently. So apparently some Trump supporters have been Googling ways to undo their votes after learning more about the tariffs. Honestly, it's giving major buyer's remorse vibes. But here's the thing, it's too late for regrets, right? The policies are here, and we have to learn to adapt and live with the consequences. What do you think about this, guys? What do you think about this, folks? What do you think about this, my subscribers, new subscribers to this channel? What do you think about this? Do you plan to stock up? What do you think about the tariffs and their impact on everyday life? Let's discuss in the comment section down below. I want to hear your thoughts. Also, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please take a moment to like, comment, and share, because YouTube's algorithm has been a little bit stingy with my videos lately. I'm not getting enough views, but I've noticed a big improvement since I started asking you guys to engage. So please don't stop. Every like and comment really helps with this content to reach more people. Yeah, please guys, engage. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, for support, and for being part of this community. I'll see you in the next video. Stay informed, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay peaceful. Bye for now.